welcome. Episode 121, Deadass Though Podcast. Your man Kel's in the building, Nisa in the building.
Hello.
Jay in the building, in spirit. I mean, I just told the live that it was a little bit of a miscommunication, so he couldn't make it today, but you know what I mean? He's going to be back next week with the big homie.
With a new hairstyle.
With a new hairstyle, new braids and everything, looking fly. You
real
know what
slick,
I mean?
real smooth.
Yeah, shout out to the live and all that. We doing IG live again. It's been a minute.
Yeah,
back on
so
the visuals.
If you guys wanted to catch us on video, we will be doing lives for every episode for the weeks coming. We're also going to add a lot more visuals. So if there's anything you guys want to see, if you just want to say what up while we're recording, head to our live at Deadass Though Podcast on Instagram, and we'll be there.
That's it. It was a hell of a week for me, y'all. I was sicky thorn most of the week. That blew
Can you break me down on that? Because I was like,
I don't even know.
Should we be together?
I got the COVID.
You think so?
Nah. Lord forbid. Now I think it was like a sinus infection, yo. Like I didn't have a fever, but like it was all up here. It was,
Could you taste? Could you smell?
Yeah.
Okay.
It was all up here, bro. Like I thought I was like, yeah, I have a fever.
Is it allergy season right now?
It is, but I don't really have allergies. I don't be having like grown people allergies either. You know how like out of nowhere you just get them?
Adult allergies?
Yeah, because people just get it like that. I never had allergies, but I
don't
never
have me either.
So I already knew what time it was, bro. Like we had a house guest staying with her and she had the sniffles. I was like, what you doing?
Dun, dun, dun.
And then I was working with other people that I haven't worked with in a while. This one dude was older. He always had like the little handkerchief. And I'm like, there's different ways that, you know what I mean? Something kind of gone around. So for the past couple of days, I've been messed up, but we good now. We good.
Yeah, he sounded like he hadn't been sneezing for a couple of days when I walk in this bitch. But if he started coughing, I'm gonna make my way to the exit.
I was like, hello. How you doing?
It sounded like me.
How you?
A long weekend.
Raz P in the building.
You know, y'all. But be honest, my voice has been pretty decent last week and this week. I even hit a little bit of a high note for you when we were mic checking. So, you know.
So you've been talking for how long on this podcast? So, you know, it's gradual. You're getting there. You're not quite there yet.
I've had like 8 different voices throughout the year.
That's
but,
it.
You know, more to come. More on the way.
She be unDSing different voices like sneakerheads do sneakers. Or like that y'all do with new Fenty pieces. I be seeing y'all.
Every Monday when I record, I literally have to forewarn my listeners. So this week's going to be a little bit different because I sound different.
See? Yo, you got to start doing exercises, bro. You got to start.
I'm drinking like orange juice and apple cider vinegar, make my immune system go well. So that way my voice goes through, you know? Like I've been trying. I drink a lot more tea. Yeah, basically. A lot of water, a lot of tea. But, you know, my shit still sound raspy.
Raspy. But that's your signature, you know what I mean? Like, you got to hold on to something to have something, if you dig what I'm saying.
Yeah, my voice is it, right? It's distinctive. It's what makes me
raspiness.
It's the raspiness. I fuck with it, though. I feel like all awesome women have raspy voices.
Like, most women have the, you got the, yo, like, what's good?
What y'all want to talk about today? Because we out here.
Yo, Nisa, first time she cracked the mic, she sounded like DMX. I was like, yo, what the?
Who the fuck is in here?
I heard
I thought her name was Nisa.
I was like, oh, what
y'all really want from it?
I was like, yeah. So what was going on while I was incapacitated in the world?
Okay, so
what was going on? Like, we'll talk music later, but
y'all, update. I got my motherfucking job back.
Congrats. Hey.
Yes, I did. And I'm going back in. I'm back in that bitch with a raise. I got a raise and a promotion from my position. Unfortunately, somebody quit, but with them quitting, that allowed for me to be moved up. So hey, if somebody gotta go, I'm with it. But we're coming back to normal operations. It's gonna be a very busy couple of weeks for me, but I'm just glad to have a motherfucking job back. I got a raise at it too. You know, I was praying on it, so I feel like God is good.
Oh.
And there was always a purpose for it. But yeah, that's basically the good news that I wanted to share with you before we started was that I'm back in my office, all that good shit. And then also clubs are back open.
Yeah, man. Shout out, because just being in music and being in radio, nightlife and all that, we know a lot of people that were, of course, like affected by everything going on. And just being able, like them signing that order for everything to open up was such an alleviation just knowing everybody who's going through this together, and it's like, oh, we back at it. You know what I mean? Even like the owners of the bars and everything, like I'm back to doing what the fuck we're here to do. So shout out to everybody that's been holding it down, and you know, now you see the light at the end of the tunnel, man. We getting there slowly but surely. I think places are starting to open up over here in Florida up to like 50% capacity for the next like week and change.
I think I don't know if it's 50% or a little more. Some places, like I think restaurants are at a little bit higher than 50%, but with like nightclubs going back open and bars, they're still at that 50% from when before this original like complete closure happened.
Which I don't understand, because I seen places like graffiti, places like that, and that place, it be jumping. I'm like, bro, this can't.
It's a restaurant, so they're able to do shit like that because everyone has a seat essentially. So they got around a lot of things, but I feel like with all the clubs and bars opening back up, shit's gonna get back to normal as far as like business for everywhere. So it's not gonna be like restaurants are gonna be the only spot to go to. Now we're gonna go back to having bars and clubs, and I'm really interested to see how the crowd reacts to clubs opening back up, because there's a lot of changes that have to be made in order for the clubs to actually be ran and open back up. And as well as like some of you may know, if you're avid listeners, I work for the Beecham and the Social, and we do a lot of live events.
Shout out to the family.
Shout out to the family. We do a lot of live events, so I'm excited to be able to bring back comedy shows and also live music events, but we definitely have to follow a lot of guidelines in order for it to run smoothly. So I'm excited and interested to see how customers react to it.
I feel like y'all were the first ones that really buckled down on it before everything got shut down. Because like Beecham, I remember like the first time, like everybody, you have to wear a mask again, and that was number one. And then number two, you had to be seated in order to get your drink.
And we did all the plexiglass and like we changed everything around. But unfortunately, even though we did what we needed to on our end, some people didn't. And then the governor shut down all the clubs. But hey, we back at it. It's been a few months, ready and rolling. So with that being said, come to Wind Down this Wednesday at the Beecham. And then Friday, Saturday, Sunday, we got it rolling at all of our venues. So Beecham, Social, 64 North, Arrow, Patio, everything will be open. So come by and have a good time.
And now that y'all getting your money, you know what I mean, Beecham, Social and all that, just throw some bread for the advertisement.
You feel me? Like, you know, a little something.
You got the inside, imagine.
You know?
And shout out to Jose, man.
Shout out, hey, it's Dro's birthday at midnight, y'all. So his @ name, do you know how many Y's are in Jose?
Like 15.
Like 15 fucking Y's. But it's Dro's birthday at midnight, so he will be getting a huge shout out from us. But yeah,
it's funny because I don't even think I got Dro on IG, but I just fuck with him. You know what I mean? That's my guy. Every time like I see him out there, good people.
He is
shout
good
out
people.
to Dro, man.
Shout out to Dro. Another year older. Grown up.
You old
Grandpa
man.
D. That's what we gonna call his ass.
You old man. But yeah, so I was sick. You got your job back. Like I'm back in radio in some capacity as well. So
how do you like it?
Man, it's been different. It's been a learning process because I haven't been, producing radio and being on the radio period since March? You know what I mean? So especially live radio is a lot of things that go into it, especially different shows. Right now, they just had me producing a whole bunch of different shows on one of our networks. And then today was literally my first shift back on The Beat. Shout out to The Beat, 104.5 The Beat, you already know.
Yeah.
Family.
Shout out to MK and Brittany Elise.
The family.
And
always
Koya.
Grinding. Yeah. But, and AJ. And Strong and everybody.
Oh,
you know what I mean?
And Strong. Oh, yeah. Should I say Viva LaCoy? Sorry.
Yeah.
I said Koya.
It's all good. But it's interesting getting back in the climate that we're at because, like, there's, like, nobody here. Mm-hmm. You know, most of the shows that I produce, people are doing it through Skype or through, we call it Access. They basically, like, phone in. Things of that nature. So I just be in this spot by myself. It's just watching the games, producing radio. So it's been interesting. So you mentioned, of course, everything opening back up. So I would like to get back into that capacity, being in front of people and seeing how that goes. But it's good, man. Compared to all the work I was doing before this when I couldn't do radio, I'm just happy to be back into it,
Are you gonna basically enter the world? I know that you and Jay were more chill on like doing stuff, and obviously I was the risky one, but I want to let y'all motherfucking know I ain't been sick not once.
She's lying.
But I have not been sick not once. But Jay and you have been more chill about like staying in the house, doing like low key shit. Would you think you're gonna venture out a little more now?
No, yeah. Like the more time has flown by, and like I said it sarcastically on this podcast before. I'm like, we should all just get sick and then just build immunity and then just go at it like that. You know what I mean? But it's like you can't live your life sheltered, especially when you got a bag to chase. So by any means, Malcolm X style, by any means necessary.
Right, and I know that a lot of people had kids during this time. And I actually spoke with one of my homegirls, and she was trying to figure out where she's gonna bring her daughter out everywhere, because you have to start bringing the kids out. They gotta start getting used to the air, shit like that. Like, because if not, they're gonna get sick as hell.
Well, there's a whole bunch of schools that are open.
That's crazy.
That you gotta go in. Yeah,
they're like open, and they're just like, throw a mask on, but like schools weren't at 50% capacity. It was by choice.
Mm-hmm.
So how does that work? Everywhere else in the world is going above and beyond, so quote unquote, for safety measures, but we got our kids going to schools like nothing.
Like nothing happened. That bugged me out too, because like throughout all COVID, when me and my girlfriend moved to our new house, there's literally an elementary school right down the street. So it's like nothing's been going on. For the first time, I think like 2 weeks ago when everything first opened up, I was like, what? Cars?
All these
what is
damn
this
kids.
line? What is happening? Like, it was so like weird to me. I'm like, life is going back to normal now.
Because you guys, you moved in the summer? Well, it is the summer.
We moved in
right?
literally when all this happened. I was like, late March,
beginning
early
of the
April.
year. You're right. Okay, yeah. Spring.
Yeah.
Is that spring?
So it was like when the order came that everything had to shut down is when we moved, because we had to look it up.
You were
like,
moving, yeah, and I was like,
because they said if they see you outside on a certain time and you're not like working to have a badge or whatever, they'll pull you over. So we looked it up and they were like, nah, moving is like a necessity.
Yeah.
So you'll be Gucci. So yeah, it was early April, and fast forward to now, what is it, September?
Yeah,
it's September.
Early September. Shit's crazy. Halloween's around the corner. Y'all ready to get spooky or what?
Y'all ain't ready for Halloween.
Y'all not ready for all my outfits.
Y'all not ready for Halloween,
okay.
Man. You think stuff's gonna be open for Halloween?
I think that I think stuff is gonna be okay. So supposedly LA banned Halloween. I swear, supposedly LA banned Halloween.
It's a holiday.
But
ban it.
I think Orlando is gonna be lit. I think Tampa, Orlando, Miami, all these places are going to be lit for Halloween. I think it's going to be hard to go out because everybody's going to try to go out. And since everything's at 50% for everywhere is going to still be capacity. I feel like the block party is going to be crazy.
That's what I'm saying. It's going to be 50% inside, but you won't see 100% outside.
Yeah, I feel like bars are going to be smart to set up a bar outside too. See if they can do that. They can like license themselves to do that. And if you guys do listen to our podcast and get that, my Cash App is $NIZACOLON. Just in case, you know?
Face.
For real though.
But I definitely see that happening though. Cause you already know people gonna go crazy. That means COVID gonna go crazy too.
Yeah.
So
I'm gonna be out though. I'm gonna have 13 outfits, you know.
I'm gonna keep it a step. Like to me, that's what them signing that order right now told me. It's the beginning of September. We have a month until shit gets crazy with Halloween. They're like, let's try it out.
Mm-hmm.
Might as well, give it like a little test go, like a little soft opening, and then we'll see where it goes. Because you already know the block party, like they shut down that whole downtown area. It'd be too crazy. So even if people say don't go out, I guarantee you everybody's gonna be outside regardless. So
yeah, everybody's gonna be outside. It's gonna be the first major holiday since this happened.
Facts.
So, I mean, this is really the beginning of it. Thanksgiving is before Halloween, though.
What?
Right?
No. What
Thanksgiving
are you talking
is
about?
November. Never mind. All right. I had a long year. A lot of shit has been happening. Okay?
How y'all
doing?
Y'all doing good out there? It's good to see y'all. What's good, y'all?
I just got it confused. Honestly, I thought it went September, November.
Yo, D, and pardon me, I'm talking to the live real quick, y'all. Yo, she just asked if Thanksgiving came before Halloween.
This is why I don't tolerate this is why I don't tolerate this little slander, because every time I do, it goes overboard.
Bruh.
I gotta play sensitive again.
Bruh.
Whatever.
That was interesting.
You know, I had a long year so far.
Yeah.
2020 has been a lot.
2020 has been a long year, man.
With 2020, a lot of weird ass shit has been going on. Like, I really don't understand it. Obviously, we've sadly lost a lot of our heroes during this year. But also, we basically are choosing between two different monsters to be our president because no other political parties are being even talked about, mentioned. They're not even part of the conversation of a possibility of gaining presidency.
At this point, like for the past couple of months, as soon as they like,
it's lock-in time.
Yeah.
2 more months to it's officially 2 more months since a couple of days ago.
Pick a
It's beginning
side.
of November. Yeah, it's crazy. You got to pick a side. You got to pick the lesser of two evils. But with that being said, I just discovered that the Democratic Party, unfortunately, played a part in passing Senate Bill 145 in California. It's basically a pedophilia bill, and it's allowing for children at the age of 14 to be able to date up to 10 years older than them, as long as it's willing and consensual intimacy, or I guess any type of interaction, relation. As long as they're between the ages of 24 and 14, they can legally partake in those, as long as both parties consent. I think that is some motherfucking bullshit. I think that ties back into the same shock that I get that fucking children aren't all in school and not being as patrolled as we do restaurants and fucking grocery stores. I don't understand why we're not trying to protect our children a little bit more. I know that when you're 14, that's the age you normally get into high school. You think you're fucking grown, but you're not. You're not grown.
Yeah, that's nasty.
You don't know what's good for you. And anybody who is over the age of 18 that's even looking at someone under the age of 18 and 17 is gross to me. What do you look for in a person like that? You're not even fully developed. Some girls are developed at 14, yes, but most aren't. And little boys too, you know, like you're not even at any type of age to be able to understand the idea of a real relationship at 14, 15, or 16. I think that if they were going to do this type of, so I read into an article and it said that they proposed this bill to be this age range because, for instance, some people who are 18 and 17 are in a relationship, or 16 and 18, 16, 20, something like that.
That's the part that I understood.
Yeah, like they get into situations and then the parents of the person who's a minor still usually get involved, and if they don't like the boyfriend or they don't like the situation and the kid won't stop, they usually try to press charges, and then later the person has to file as a sex offender.
But why is the gap so
it wouldn't
big?
be like, right, that's my thing. Like, okay,
That's
I
nasty.
understand that. I think the gap should be a couple of years, maybe like 17 to 20, 17 to 21, something like that, where 17, most people are between 17 and 18, you're graduating high school. So you're about to be grown as fuck. You're about to go to college, you know, whatever. At that point, I feel like you become a little wiser or a little more knowledgeable about like the people that you want to date. I still think you're very young-minded, and nobody over a certain age should even be looking at someone young like that. But if you are, that should be the limit. I don't think anyone who's in fucking freshman or sophomore in high school should be dating someone who
14,
graduated.
15 is crazy. That's like some Amish
crazy
shit.
to me. Like, it is some Amish shit. Like, it's just crazy that they would allow that. Like, I get it when, like you said, it's understandable when it's a smaller age gap. Or if it's somebody who's like 16 and 18, it's like, okay, they're basically both children. Cool, you know, it's not that big of a difference, whatever. But when you're going down to like 15, 14, honestly, even 16, like you don't even know how to be sexually safe. You know what I mean? Like it's all a joke to you at that age. You don't really know the importance of being tested, the importance of birth control until you talk to your parents. And you let me know what 16, 15, or 14-year-old can talk to their parents about sex comfortably, and at that with an older person, and go to like getting tested and doing all that. I don't know if it's new age parents that might be acceptive to that, but when I was a little girl, my mom would whoop my ass.
Yeah, shout out to Cali because y'all nasty.
Like that's crazy. And and I honestly think part of the reason why damn, I'm over here pussy popping, but
Face.
The part of the reason why I feel like they're passing it is with everything that had went on with Jeffrey Epstein and all these political figures that are being caught up in this pedophilia, and also, just
that's
anyone
gonna give them the range to survive. You know what I mean?
Exactly.
That's what I realized as I grew older and understood just how like corrupt the world is and corrupt governments can be. They will pass bills in order to bail themselves, their friends out, whatever the case is. So you have a bill like this, like you said, in the Jeffrey Epstein case where, if this is a grown ass man with a little ass adult, and that one little leeway, even though it's not little, but you know what I mean, like that, 10-year gap or whatever the case is with that bill will be just enough to save that person from going to jail for however long, specifically for the reasons that we're talking about. So that's the nasty part about it to me, that because in New York, I'm not sure if it's changed. Y'all could correct me if I'm wrong, but the age of consent when I was, it was 17. You know what I mean? So it's like, they 17, you're Gucci. Now. Like you'll be able to make your own decisions, like you said before. But when you go to those lower areas, especially when you're older and with all this stuff going on, that just rings like red alarms in my head for the situation we're in right now. Like as America and all the stuff that we've seen and the corruption and pedophilia that's coming to light, like especially right now with the Epstein and all that, and them to pass this is very weird to me. Very weird timing, you know what I mean? But that's 2020. I want to be surprised if anything else happened, bro. Like this is not surprising to me, you know what I mean? But like we said, it's just Cali, so who knows what's gonna happen as we keep on going, and depending on who gets voted in, maybe it gets vetoed, who knows, But November, we have some decisions to make. So I hope y'all have been doing y'all due diligence and making sure that, y'all signed up and ready if you weren't before. Because it's almost go time. It's almost go time. And then we're going to be stuck with somebody for 4 more years. 4 more years. Just think about how old you are now. Add 4 to it. That's the next time you'll be able to get out. That's real. Put a low power mode, actually.
He said, I got you.
Oh, matter of fact, yeah, we're gonna keep it for a little bit. But yeah, I want to transition into music, just to liven it up.
Oh, you ready to get into music? Because you just put me on a little something right before.
Yeah, because you had the nerve to disrespect.
I didn't disrespect. I underappreciated.
To disrespect.
All right, whatever.
SZA, man, like SZA drop every time. It's because we usually drop on Thursdays, right? Because we'll have great conversation, and then literally the following day, something will drop. New music drops. So it's like, did we talk about it on the podcast? No, we spoke about it in like the group chat or whatever. But SZA dropped some dope music, not just one song, music, because like she dropped the hit Different joint with Ty Dolla $ign, beautiful, produced by the Neptunes, and fuck with it 100%. Nisa came in, she said she wasn't feeling it. I was like, okay, what you need to do,
watch the video.
Watch the video because there's a little bit towards the end that I feel like you're gonna really like.
It was in the middle.
It was in the middle?
Yeah, it was the whole other song.
It was the whole other song. So how'd you feel about it when you watched the middle of the video?
I love the second half a lot more than the first half, right? They getting their ass smacked. We're watching the Lakers and Rockets game right now. That's, what did I say? Lakers in 5. That's it. But I like the second part of the video. I think that I always think SZA is so visually appealing. She's so smart. She's so creative. And she just gets better every single time she goes out. But definitely the song hit different. It made the song hit different.
Yeah,
the video made the song hit different. But honestly, that's what has been happening lately. Videos have really been making songs for me, for sure.
We've been talking about that heavy on the podcast as of late. Because I feel like when everything switched to digital and streaming, like people weren't putting the right amount of feel and effort into their videos. And then there's certain artists out there like the Kendricks, the Coles, different artists. Another one that's dope that flies under the radar. And I just blanked on his name, but all his videos be dope. I'm gonna look him up real quick.
I'm like Kendrick Lamar.
No.
Oh, it's a videographer?
No. He's an artist. And I just blanked on his name for whatever reason. I don't know why. But I'm gonna come up with his name in just a second. But the reason why I bring them up is that, they put that effort and that uniqueness into their videos. The baby, you know what I mean? Like it's not just the song. There's so much that goes into the production and everything that elevates the song when you hear it. You know what I mean?
A Lil Baby got his signature little dance move or whatever, but he's putting a lot more. I see that a lot more hip hop artists are getting into music videos and actually putting like a foot forward, or even if it's not them being on the writing board of it, they are hiring the right directors. Like Chris, the director, is one of them. What's the other dude that just did the video for Mulatto? It's a blonde boy.
I don't know, but that was dope. I forget.
He's in everything. Yeah. He's literally in everything. Damn, see what his name is.
Amine, who I was thinking of.
Amine?
Yeah, I believe that's how you pronounce it, right? Everybody out there, he's the one that did the Caroline joint a couple years ago.
Oh,
but he's been steady releasing dope projects and dope songs, and his videos are fire too. I'm telling you.
Visually appealing is really the route to go because people are always on their phone. That's the best way to market your song. People are always on their phone.
Because things switch. Like before, you had to have your video in order to be on MTV and all that. People sit in front of their TV, they're going to watch it, right? Or it's going to be in the background somewhere. Like you said, everybody's on their phones now. And now, like, I find myself, I'll cast my phone to my TV while I'm just like doing stuff around the crib and I'll just play videos or something.
A lot of people do that. We're out of the age of cable. Let's just be real. People don't even need cable for sports because everything has a streaming system. So it's cheaper to go the internet route. So people are using their phones to project TV on. So they're going to use their phones to hop on YouTube or whatever and play that video while they're doing shit around their house to entertain them because they don't got to look shit up anymore. And it's easier for people to put out projects. I feel like it's probably more financially sound too for artists to go straight through YouTube.
Yeah, absolutely.
They got to spend more money on the project though.
Well, you think about it, back in the day, labels had to spend money on you to make these videos, like the Bad Boy videos, the Busta Rhymes videos, and Missy Elliott. These were expensive videos, but now with just the way that you can edit and things of that nature, the software you can use, you could do a lot of dope stuff for the low.
You do a lot of anime videos. I know a lot of people doing like anime to kind of cut costs as far as like staging goes. Because boy, that WAP video had to be bread. Because they built everything.
Choreography, sets, all that.
It's like, appealing to us. But like even with the SZA video, the Ty Dolla $ign and SZA video, like I said, they barely had anybody casted in it. They had a group, like a dance team look. But other than that, they had like a car lot. Of haystack, like different stuff, simple. But very simple, but the beauty behind it. Yeah. They probably had a lot of people do like the costume, makeup, all that. Yeah. That's where the money more so went into it, I would assume. Yeah, a lot of times I liken it less as like videographers and I think of them as cinematographers because a lot of the shots. That's what it's turning into. A lot of the shots you see in these videos is like, yo, this is like beautiful. This is art. And it is, you know what I mean? But to that point, you know, when you have different things like drones or whatever the case is that could capture footage that we weren't able to do before, it's like, yo, go out there and just kill it. You know what I mean? Especially, like I have a friend who I believe in as an artist, real dope guy. And he's like, he's making his music and he's starting to get to that point that he's like, yo, I'm gonna drop a video, I'm gonna shoot a video, let's do that. I'm like, bro, don't just shoot your video in front of a Beamer. You can't. Like with the, you know what I mean? Like a regular hood video. Like, nah, we need some production. You need to think about this. You got to storyboard it. Like really bring this shit to life because you got to think about it. That's going to be your baby, you know? So it's like you could phone it in if you wanted to, do some quick edits and you got a smooth, like cool little video, but you look like everybody else. You look like everybody else, you know? TikTok brought a whole different mode to now
it.
What Instagram has Reel, but there's ways to put out like for local artists or people coming up. There's different ways to put out, but we strongly suggest visuals. If you visuals. But that's a good point though.
You know what I mean? Like because like what is it? The Triller or whatever?
Yeah, Triller. Reel on Instagram, TikTok. There's another one, but I can't think of it. Me neither. Acapella? Is that it?
Acapella's one, but there's another one that's like Triller. I forget what it's called, but those add to it because this may not be the video, but this could be the I think of the baby as soon as I hear that because he will use that as a snippet. You know, like
teaser, so people will go to your actual format. So like if Instagram is your main base, plug that in there, and then they're gonna go there to check out your other shit. Or if you have a YouTube channel, plug that in there. They're gonna go and check you out if they like the snippet that they see, and then that just builds you from there. But I think
just be you in the video, like,
bro, literally, and you're just like having fun. But I think that artists picked up on that during this pandemic. That is important to do the tease and then go forward. There were some artists like DaBaby that have been doing shit like that. Kaylani did that. You know who
I
else
love
used to do
Kaylani's
that?
album still, man.
What's shorty name that was dating the baby? Danny Lay. She was doing that. She did a lot of snippets before hers. Beyonce always puts out snippets. Like these huge artists always put out something before everyone pays attention to them.
Yeah.
Drake, you feel me? Like everyone. But it's very important that other people catch on to it because now that's the new wave.
Yeah.
You know, like jump on it or get left. That's really it. But I seen that Cardi B and all of them are doing OnlyFans.
But they doing it smart. Remember, we discussed this before. They doing it the small way. It's like, yeah, I'm not going to strip, but I'm going to let you in on some like secrets.
Mm-hmm. We did talk about it because we talked about Yes Jules doing aspects.
But see, you thought I was bugging. Yeah. You thought I was bugging. You got to be, I told Jay, I think I put in the group chat, you got to be ahead of the 8 ball, bro. You got to be a couple steps ahead. You got to think. Because even though like platforms may be here and people are using it one way, you got to be like, all right, what is a different way that I could flip it on its head? Mm-hmm.
And make some money off of it because people can't go to concerts. So touring is a large part of an artist's salary that goes directly to them is the touring. So, you know, because with albums, they have contracts, they lose a lot of their bread from it. They get a smaller portion, money goes back out with videos, but with touring, they get a lot of the money. So it's important, especially in an artist's beginning of their career to go on tour. But with everything going on, I don't know if touring is going to be the same. I don't know if events or concerts, ticket sales, I don't know if those things are going to be the same. So it is smart for them to go through OnlyFans because you could do those virtual concerts that if you're not subscribed to my OnlyFans, you can't even get to.
And they doing a lot of them too.
Right.
They doing a lot of them.
Listening parties, like unreleased songs will be on there, you know, like on different artists' OnlyFans. So it's like you have to be subscribed to get that. You got to pay to subscribe. So it's not like a YouTube subscription that's free and you get random stuff, or even like a TV subscription that you pay the company and you get everything that comes with it.
It goes
straight to the artist.
I'm sure OnlyFans takes a little percentage.
I think they take a very small because I know people making bands off showing pussy. You feel me? Like
I see you, OnlyFans. I respect
OnlyFans is supposedly they're gonna something about like tax fraud, and I'm like, how the fuck?
Listen,
they just started.
That's why you got to finesse the system and don't let the system finesse you. You heard?
Right.
You word?
Get it while the getting's good.
That's it.
You know?
What's good? Joe, pull up, bro.
Pull the noodles out the pot before it gets too hot.
Stop playing. That's it.
You feel me? You know when they get hot, they get soggy and shit?
When the market gets saturated, that's when you go, bro. That's when you got to bye.
So, with the markets building and different things going above, podcasting has taken a huge leap in the last few months. And I know that you brought up a point with Charlamagne actually introducing, what is it called?
The Black Effect Podcast Network. Shout out to Charlamagne, man. Because I think him and Joe Budden were going back and forth because Joe apparently is reaching like the end of his deal with Spotify. Mm-hmm. So apparently Spotify threw him a big check, but he chose not to because like record labels used to do and still do, they were trying to take certain percentages of certain things and it was a lot. And it's like, I'd much rather keep my integrity and I'd much rather keep my brand and ownership rather than just, sell out for the check. Mm-hmm. When Charlamagne, not knowing the parameters behind his deal, but he was able to create a whole podcast network with a whole bunch of dope podcasts, like Drink Champs is on there. What is it, 85 South, I think it is? With
I love 85 South with DC Young Fly, Chico, and
I forget his name. Yeah. Older Smokers on there with Matt Barnes, that they be having all the hoopers on there. And like 15 more, but long story short, he partnered with iHeart in order to create that platform. Mm-hmm. And it consolidates a whole bunch of just like black shows, black audiences. It's the first one that I can think of, like a podcast network that specifically caters towards that audience. And that's so dope. And I'm very sure that, he maintained, a good amount of ownership, but in a partnership, you have to give some things away. Mm-hmm. So just seeing them going back and forth, I think either way, it's still a win. Because this is something that hasn't been created before. And I've said this multiple times, podcast is still in its infancy, no matter how long it's been here. You know what I mean? The fucking podcast app has been on your phone since like the iPhone 3. Mm-hmm. You know what I mean? But
people just didn't utilize as much.
Yeah, we're still figuring out. But it's hard because it's a new medium. Mm-hmm. It's like one big argument that I agree with, it's like who determines how much a stream is? especially with a podcast, because you stream a song for however long. Let's say it's a medium, you know what I mean? It's like 3 minutes long. You listen to that whole song. How much is that stream worth compared to a podcast where we drop an hour a week? You know what I mean? Sometimes an hour and a half. That's a whole movie's length. Like, who puts the dollar value on that? And that's the conversation, I think, at least, that's going to be like in like the major stratosphere in the future. And right now, as a matter of fact, because they talking about it right now, bro. Like I said, Charlamagne got the whole platform. Joe Budden about to go somewhere else after Spotify. We don't know yet, but he been talking to people. But it's like, how can you put a price on that, and what is it going to be? Because you think about it, like I said, you get money for, you know, when people stream your songs. We're not getting bread for streams on podcasts, which is ridiculous. So who knows when that is going to be, you know, tackled and all that, but we getting there.
So I know that the source that I use for my personal podcast, I go through Anchor, and they pay you when you add in commercials. So,
of course.
You know what I mean? It's basically sponsorship pay. So I wonder if they're going to do something like that where they can do like sponsorship pay. I don't really know. Like how many viewers listen. Like as long as a viewer listens to that commercial, whether it be at the beginning or end of your podcast, it gets marked.
Oh yeah, of course.
So I'm saying
CPMs
that might be
and everything that goes into it.
Exactly. So that might be.
But fuck that. If you listening, that's a stream, bro.
Yeah.
Why aren't we getting royalties for that? Why aren't we you understand? I'm telling you, that's going to be the conversation. It has to.
Is Charlamagne going to be leaving Breakfast Club?
No. Okay. Actually, the Breakfast Club,
I didn't understand like if that was going to happen, because I didn't understand if he was going within iHeart.
The podcast component of the Breakfast Club is going to be like the anchor for them, because they podcast is still like the number one podcast, quote unquote, like in whatever sphere it is.
It's a great talk show. So I could see it being an amazing podcast, because essentially I feel like podcasts definitely are like audio talk shows with no censorship.
Yeah. It's the only thing that's like mass produced, that's not regulated by the FCC, so we can say whatever the hell we want. We can have whatever language. Huh? Yeah, like there's no medium out there like it, because even when you're on YouTube, like certain things get flagged and all that. So it's like, matter of fact, your shit about to die. I'm about to, yo.
We're just ending the live. So
we just ended the live real quick because her bum ass phone is dying.
You see this bullshit? End and save. Do you know how, Grandpa?
I wish I could zoom in.
Oh yeah.
Oh! Yeah.
Right. Yeah.
Face?
Yeah. Yeah.
Hey, Grandpa. My bad, y'all. We were getting the live right. Yeah. But yeah, that's gonna be the fight, man. And like when Shells and I first started this podcast, of course, labor of love. We just want to sit down, have great conversation with great people. But at the end of the day, you want to make a living doing what you love to do. And in order for that to happen, certain things need to happen that are fair. And podcasts being monetized minus paid advertisements is a go. I don't care what nobody say.
Honestly.
You know what I mean? There's people on radio right now that get paid literally to do this, but on a shorter format. So it's like, it doesn't make sense to me why it's not there yet. But we're going to get there. So shout out to all the creators out there, even if it's not podcasts. Whatever thing you're creating, whatever you have your heart in, continue to do it. You already know it's a labor of love. It's hard to do what we do.
It is a labor of love, because we do all of this shit because we love it and we care and we want to bring out good content. We don't get paid for this.
Yeah.
We don't. We do it all out of love and passion.
It's hard to create. It's hard to have a vision and follow that vision until, you know, whatever happens. Because you already know, like, everybody's vision, it changes as the time goes.
Right.
Situations come at you, whatever the case is. But for you to just stay consistent and, you know, just keep pushing forward as opposed to pivoting when things get tough. Like, it could have been easy for us to be like, yo, like, pandemic happened, it's a dub. I don't feel like recording, or like, we can't be in the studio no more, we're not gonna record no more. Nope. Found a way to do it and we still recorded, because that's exactly how it should be. Know what I mean? That's the only way we're gonna create our own stuff and have ownership and create generational wealth. This has been my TED Talk. Thank you for coming to my YouTube.
I was literally going to be like, okay, he just dropped a gem. Y'all see how quiet I got? I was just letting him ramble, you know, let him do his thing. Give y'all some drops a normal gem like he always does.
We got to, bro. That's the reason why we built this platform, bro. It's the reason. That's why I'm looking forward to everything opening back up and things being more comfortable, so we can have people in person here to speak to. Because that's what I miss too. Because we had plans on doing that more often, and then
bringing in interviews. Yes, yes, for sure.
So I already have a lot of people that just want to come through and talk sports because they know we talk sports. I'm like, yo, we
I
could definitely.
Can't wait.
Yeah.
Football season is back, baby.
You know what I mean?
Tomorrow.
Tomorrow's
well,
the day. It's technically here already.
Yeah, technically, but okay, so Thursday night's game, I know you didn't catch.
Well, no, I caught it. I just stopped watching because they were getting
they got
clapped.
their ass clapped.
We're getting clapped.
After what? It was after second quarter, it was done for.
Before we even get there, how they gonna boo them, man? How they gonna boo them for locking arms?
So I don't get why do you feel like that's okay?
Bro, and the funny thing to me, right, even though it's not funny, but I find humor in everything, right? It's a limited capacity anyway. You know what I mean? It's not like the place was filled.
Yeah.
And that place was littered with boos. That means everybody was
booing. And that bitch had to boo.
And it's like, for us to come this far, right? And somebody made a good point because I think like San Fran put on their Twitter on the end zone on the whole, well, I think all of them have it in the end zone, as a matter of fact. It says end racism. Right in the end zone. And somebody was like, you literally blackballed Cap for taking a knee for justice. You know, like, this is so Cat.
That's the thing. Like, literally, I don't understand it. I really don't.
But just from like a humanity standpoint,
yeah.
You know, even if, all right, say I was on the other side, right? And I didn't particularly agree with not standing for the anthem, whatever the case is. I think I could come in within myself and agree with the fact of these two teams locking arms together in, solidarity, unity with all the nonsense going on. I don't have no problem with that. I think it's a compromise we all have to take as people to deal with it. Like, people are taking a stand and showing what they believe in different ways. And if that means that you have to take a knee, you feel me, locking arms and showing unity, then that's just what it needs to be. Like, I don't understand what the issue is. That's that was the point of me saying everything I just said was, why is there an issue when everyone stands together? Because when everyone's apart, there's an issue too. So can you win? Yeah. With me now, like, just being on the other side, because like I do hear the conversations from the right side, and one argument that I kept hearing was, they're overpaid babies. When I go to work, I can't talk about politics, whatever the case is. Just do your job, just like the rest of us. I hear a lot of that. I hear a lot of it, but I'm like, why is in my head, your job? In my head, I'm like, yeah, you may not be able to do that at your job, but if you were able to, would you? You know what I mean? A lot of people won't, because that's just how people are. Like, they just don't want to be outspoken. But if you have a platform and you're getting paid to do a job, of course, I'm going to do my best to show you exactly who I am. We're way more than the positions we occupy. You understand? So we're humans at the end of the day. So if there's some human stuff going on in the world, I should be able to speak my mind on it. So for people to see it for what it is on face value, like, oh, these are just overpaid athletes just complaining, and I'm not trying to hear this. I watch sports as a relief. I hear that all the time too. I watch sports as a relief, so it's like, I don't want to see this. It's like, okay, just change the channel, because the revolution will be televised. Shoot. You got to shake it up sometimes, man. Pop said it the best before he left, man. You got to shake the room. And they shaking. I mean, if they talking, they doing something, start the conversation. If you don't start the conversation, you can't start any type of change. Facts. That's it. Like, just drop the mic. That's it. Yeah. I'm gonna stop. I'm gonna stop while I got it. You feel me? If we could, you can't really do it on these things, but you know what I mean? Just drop the mic. That was all the mics dropping. Football's back. We discussed it, I think, like 2 weeks ago, how we think it was gonna go. From what I heard, I don't know if it changed, but they said that we're gonna have fans to a limited capacity, and then after that, I think that we're gonna switch it up to like no fans or something like that. So I guess we'll see. Why double back though? I don't know. Like, I think it's just like a trial and error type thing to see if it works. I think that having the stands at 50% capacity works, because there's so much room in a football stadium. Now in a basketball
stadium or arena, it would be so different because everything's a little more enclosed, I guess you could say. There's still room for it. I mean, there's the different tiers that you could be in, but to really enjoy the game, you're not going to buy a fucking seat way up and the tier up there, you're going to sneak down to your seat. But in a football stadium, you have a little more room to play with. And I think that they can definitely have more fans there. Plus, it's outside. So it's a little more breezy, I would say, too. Like, it's not as congested.
The only thing that gets me, and I said this before, is just they still have to travel. There's still that variable of travel.
They're still traveling, right. Okay.
Lord knows what can happen.
Right. They're still traveling and doing things. So that's what I feel like that might be the risk.
1,000%.
You know what I mean? Are they getting tested right before they get on the field? Or are they coming a couple days before? You know, like how are we to determine whether they are sick or they're not sick? And they're hitting each other. So with basketball, it's a lot of contact and they don't have as much clothing covering them. And that might be where the difference is. Yeah, they have more contact, but they're also more shielded, like full face mask. They have the Under Armour that goes all the way down to the sleeves. They have gloves. They have, you know, the Under Armour for the pants. And then they have padding and they have their whole, you know, setup. That might help them, but it's so much contact that somewhere, somehow, spit, blood, something is probably going to get on each other.
Everything. Probably. Everything's going to.
So if you're not...
It's going to take for, like we were talking about the Buccaneers earlier, like, Lord forbid, knock on wood. It's going to take someone like Tom Brady to get it for them to be like, all right, shut down the season. You know? Like,
I really hope
But that's
not.
literally how quick it can happen. You understand? That's the only thing I don't like, which is why I understand why some players did choose to opt out. Like, and it's happening in college football too. I've seen a lot of people like, yo, I'm not, especially like seniors, they're like, I'm not going to risk my like chance to be in the A and get sick or get injured or whatever the case is on something that could be, like, say something doesn't happen, right? Best case scenario. It's probably still going to be like a shortened season, you know, with everything going on. So it's like, why put myself in that position when I could just rest up and just go to the draft or something like that? But then I was speaking to someone the other day where some coaches were even like, yo, like, if you don't play type shit, if you don't have recent game footage, then we're not going to go for you. So it's like, damn if you do, damn if you don't.
That's what I'm saying. You can never win with this shit. Like, if you don't do it, you know what I mean? Like, if you don't do it, you're safe as far as, like, sickness goes for sure, but then you might lose an opportunity at a greater life. And then, so I think that it sucks to be a college athlete right now, for sure.
Yeah.
Like, you don't really know what
you're not getting the experience that you wanted.
Not like, the fan experience. And they say that having fans there are what really do it for most teams.
The energy is so different. The
it's hard to
so
play.
Different.
A lot of NBA players were caught in interviews saying, like, it's hard to play right now because they have to give each other the energy.
Yeah.
They have to hype each other up. Because, I mean, that's what it all is. That's why they have the fake fan noises.
Fake fan noises.
You know what I mean, though? That's why they have it. It makes the game experience better for ourselves, but also the players. It keeps them pushing. So it really sucks for any athletes coming out, and it also sucks for the athletes that are in it because, like you said, if you get sick, that's it for you.
Yep. So God bless all athletes, you know.
And we thank our athletes for jumping in and wanting to entertain us and risking that for themselves.
Lord knows we needed it.
We did. That's the escape we all didn't know that we really needed, but it gave us.
And it like basketball specifically, that one came in earlier than I thought. So it was a godsend to me. Like, yo, like at least we have basketball. But now, like, you turn on, we have basketball. Naomi Osaka just won the U.S. Open, her third.
I don't watch. What is that? Tennis?
Yeah, tennis. Yeah. Hockey's going on right now.
Baseball's going on.
Baseball's going on right now.
Boxing or whatever that is.
Boxing's going on.
Like all this shit is
UFC still going on. College football just started. Like, it's crazy. I don't think there has to be some sort of stat out there that says this has never happened before. Like this amount of games, sports,
like back to back to back.
Yeah,
There's
WNBA.
Always something to watch. If you flip the channel and you have something else to watch. Like we always have like certain sports that collide, but not ones that really
happen
like
for like a couple weeks.
Yeah, it happened for a couple weeks, and that's it. This is months of the same. Excuse me. The same type of activity and being able to just flip channels and find all different spectrums of sports to watch. And definitely being able to watch your favorite teams or your favorite sports back to back. I was able to watch basketball and football back to back, interchange.
Yeah, that
was
messed my
nice.
head up when I was able to watch like the Yankees and then go straight to like basketball. And I'm like, this is
It was
beautiful.
it was Yankees basketball and then football came on right after, right?
Yeah.
Shit's crazy.
Enjoy it while we can, yo.
Right, exactly. And football season jumped right into the beginning. There was no preseason, so we're already having a shorter season as it is. Because it's just jumping in. We're not getting no
it was weird.
preliminary action.
I hope it works out. I really do, because I think it's going to be an interesting season with all the moves and all the re-signers that have been happening.
And all the trades.
It's going to be fun, man.
I can't wait for Sunday, honestly. We just seen a sneak peek of what Kansas has been doing in their off time. I don't know if teams were actually practicing together. From what I know, they weren't, but they had.
No, they were.
They were? Okay.
Yeah.
I thought players were just kind of conditioning by themselves, and then they had the teams together for a week or two, but they had to have been playing together because they had a nice little chemistry. They were back at it like the champs. They proved to us that they were, but you know what? Sunday's a whole new day, and Monday's a whole new day. Sunday and Monday, you feel me?
Them boys too explosive, man.
It's crazy. They're crazy.
They got a lot
offensively.
of firepower, man.
I'm excited to see
started.
Tampa. They got a lot of firepower. I'm excited to see Tampa. Tampa is a whole stacked, brand new team. Tampa made a Golden State move.
Yeah, we gonna see.
Cheat codes.
They old, man.
We'll see. You say that, but they're old. But they're bringing in a lot of players that come from they're champions
champion pedigree.
From different teams. They're players that make a difference on different teams. So if you put a bunch of superstars together, they're either gonna sink or float.
Fact.
So,
but you know that chemistry, that chemistry word comes in. Like how long is it gonna take for them to build chemistry?
Remember when Westbrook and Harden got back together? It didn't work out at first. They had to learn to get back that chemistry because it was two divas. They finally had that, like, I was a superstar. Well, I was a superstar, and it didn't work. Same thing with KD. That's why he left.
Well, I think now it's going to be interesting because, like, Brady has a dope, like, backfield now. So it's like you could either go Shady McCoy, you could go real quick, you could do screen passes real quick to him, whatever the case is, or you can go Leonard Fournette. You know what I mean? Just start wilding.
He has options now.
Yeah, so it depends on the play style. That's one thing I'm interested in seeing, and shout out to a couple people that listen to this podcast who are Bucks fans, valid Bucks fans, because I know y'all. Y'all been there for a minute, so now's your time. You know what I mean? I'll give you this one. But I never really paid attention to the play style, so I want to see how that's going to change with Brady on the center, with Gronk coming back. Even him just blocking, bro.
The fact that
Gronk just being there to block just does so much for your running game. So I don't want to jinx anything, but I think it's going to be interesting, man.
I think they're going to play out very well. It might be a little bit of a rough start, if any type of rough start, but I think it'll be a nice little. I think they picked up the right players in the right positions of what Tampa needed because Tampa really didn't have much. So when you go from having not much or anything at all to having something, it's better than nothing, just like Miami did.
I mean, I said they were going to do something once they changed their uniforms. Them alarm clock numbers was trash. I hated them.
Nah, definitely uniforms way better.
Yo, as soon as Brady came through, he was like,
get that shit out of here.
I'm not playing with this.
Need something nice. They need to sponsor us with something better.
Listen, we going to get into LeBron talk at a later time. Not tonight because it's almost time to wrap up. But I'm just proud of my guy. He's doing it. I'm glad to see the player that he became again with the Lakers, because when he first got on our squad, he didn't do that for me at all, and I was very upset. He was injured.
But then he got back right, and it still was Then he would be good. Then it would be like it wasn't good ball handling. He was just flopping. It was just all over the place. But he's really showing his ass again, and I'm glad to see him back in his healthy form. He's doing his thing, and I'm happy to be a Lakers fan at this time. He's wearing the 4s. Those are dope. His just decision making has been off the charts, man. He's a leader right now. He turns into a different animal come playoff time. So it's like you could do what you want in the regular season, like he can light it up, but when the playoffs come, the line comes out, bro. So look, boom, jump the passing lane. Thank you. Oh, he threw him the alley. Oh my God. Okay, he shouldn't have, but they're trying. Oh my God. No, I was having this conversation with my man Leo the other day. It's like, I just don't see anybody contending with their firepower, bro. Like I said the same thing about Kansas City just like earlier, but it's true. The thing is, you have to play with your options, because if you don't, you won't have any. They're only gonna depend on those two.
It could have been easy for them to just be like, all right, AD and Braun, but then like now Kuzma's starting to do a little more. You see Caruso doing his thing. You see like KCP still garbage. He's been blowing mine watching this.
Bro, I literally was like, what the fuck is he doing? Just looking dumb. That's
bro, going like 0 for 4 with 20 minutes on the floor. I'm like, bro, just stop.
He's not even notable. Like, literally, look at him. Just sitting in the fucking corner, not doing shit.
He dead just in the corner chilling.
Bruh, literally, like he always is, just sitting in the fucking corner.
Listen, but if LeBron has the ball at the top of the key, I would do the same thing. Like, I'm over here, bro.
How you twinning with Caruso on the team and not doing shit? How you twinning with the shortest white boy
listen, man,
playing right now, and you're doing less than him?
Listen, man, I'm just happy. You know what I mean? We got, and then we'll wrap this up real quick. But the Raptors just got eliminated. We got the Celtics. Look at here. You know what I mean?
What you think about Miami and Baltimore?
That's going to be a great.
That's going to be a motherfucking great.
You said Baltimore?
Baltimore, Boston. I'm sorry.
Like, what?
Baltimore. You know, Mo, I'm in another place. But Boston.
Bro, that's going to be a great series, man.
Amazing
That's going to be a great, because Miami's.
Think Baltimore has a basketball team.
No.
I'm just throwing it out there,
the Ravens? Know? He said, did you see the Baltimore Ravens play the other day?
Right.
But nah, they like Miami, they dogs, bro. So what they lack in star power, they do in hustle. You know, like Dragic.
They're young.
Oh yeah, Duncan
like
Robinson's
they're ready to eat, and they're ready to be the next team again.
Listen, Cinderella story, man. I'm banking on them. I love it. But Celtics, man. Marcus Smart has been coming out. I was gonna say out of nowhere, but he been hooping.
And what's his name? Tatum.
Jason Tatum.
He's looking nice. He's looking real.
Cardiac Kemba's here.
He's looking in his bag. They all are.
I saw a tweet that said Marcus Smart is who Patrick Beverly thinks he is. You know what I mean? Like just being like that lockdown defender, like in that clutch block at the end of the game the other day to like clinch that game. It's gonna be a dope series, man. I'm really looking forward to it.
I'm excited to see who comes out on top, and then I mean, soon come as we see after this game is over, it's gonna be Lakers Clippers, and
we've been looking forward to that since the beginning of the season.
I'm looking forward to that because I've been hearing a lot of shit. I'm ready to prove Skip wrong. I trolled him all day yesterday. Because all he does is talk shit about the Lakers, and I'm over it. I'm over the Lakers slander from Skip.
No, like it could go either way.
It could go either way.
PG got to show up, man. We saw what happened. Like Kawhi, he's like, yo, help, bro. I need you. And he's been hooping. PG's been hooping, but
I'd be more afraid of Kawhi to show up than PG.
Oh, of course. But I'm just saying, because you saw that horrible drought that he had in the beginning of the playoffs. So it's like, you can't do that against the Lakers, bro.
Especially not how they feeling themselves now. So it's like, bitch, we on it.
I think
everything's smooth. We're explosive. We're playing better defense as well as pushing with offense. Like, we're just looking like a better team overall.
Absolutely.
And it's strategy, and that comes from leadership, teamwork. You know what I mean? Patience. So,
like, I don't even want to call it yet when it comes to the finals. But
out of those four teams, though, those 4 teams and those 2 matchups, we're looking at. What, it'll be like a week and a half, I would say. Probably like a week and a half, 2 weeks.
Probably like 2 weeks,
games. Something like that. Because there's basically every other day.
Yeah, we're going to be in finals by October.
So I'm excited to see these 4 teams with these 2 matchups and see who comes out as the last 2 teams and who's taking it for the East and who is taking it for the West.
That's it, man. Yeah, I'm going to put my dogs in the race. I'm going to say Celtics. I'm going to say Lakers.
I honestly, from the beginning of it, when we first talked playoff endings, I always thought it was going to be Boston and LA. But, you know, I didn't know which LA it was going to be. But
listen,
it's showing out.
Every call that I've made in the playoffs when we record this podcast has been wrong. So
has been wrong.
I don't know if y'all ain't noticed that. Y'all ain't
he might be wrong with Boston. He not wrong with the Lakers, okay? Because we in it. We in it to win it, baby.
Listen, I'm saying it could go either way to me in the Eastern Conference, but I don't know. I just believe in the Celtics a little more, man. I feel like they have more productivity on the offensive side.
Miami
I feel like they're more solid. You know, but Miami are dogs, bro.
That's what I'm saying.
I'm not gonna loop myself.
Boston's more solid, but Miami just seems like they might want it more. They're young. Young teams are hungry as fuck, especially when they make it here. You are literally this close to finals. You're this literally an inch away from finals. You're not gonna give up. You're gonna eat when you can.
And before we leave, big shout out to Jimmy Butler because they counted him out when he went to Miami, bro.
They counted him out, but he shined and he did his thing, and he has an amazing come up story.
But you mentioned it before. He did the right thing. He bet on his team and himself. You know what I mean? It wasn't just him. Mm-hmm. Like on the sidelines, I think it was like the game before they clutched it. Like he was on the sidelines, like, yo, I told y'all. Mm-hmm. Like we some dogs. Like what you talking about? Like we hoop. This is what we do. That's exactly what you need to do. Just lock in with your team and just play, bro. And that's exactly what they've been doing. So big shout out to Jimmy Butler. And I think they said it's the first time there's no 1 or 2 seeds in the Eastern Conference Finals in like how many years? I don't remember what the stat was, but it's been a while.
Miami?
Huh?
For Miami?
No, just period. There's no 1 or 2 seeds. You know what I mean? But that's gonna bring this week's episode to a close. You know what I mean? Next week we're gonna be back with more outlandish takes on sports, depending on
more
how
holidays gone wrong.
Depending on how these games go. You know what I mean? We talking about it's gonna be good games. Watch either team get blown out. I'm gonna be sick. I'm gonna come back to this podcast like, yo, I ain't watching this no more. But episode 121 in the books. You already know Kel's in the building. Nisa in the building.
Yeah.
We gonna holler at y'all next week.